Hi, welcome to your March 2020 update. March has a lot of mixed energy because there's a lot of shifts happening this month, and you must know what they are and how they're going to affect you so that you can navigate the celestial weather and not get caught out in the rain without your raincoat on. So I'm Gurreri, Vedic Astrologer, Soul Guide, and High Level Intuitive, and I'm really excited to bring this information to you today. So 2020 is this amazing year that we're in. It is a very strong year. We have all the planets in their own house at some point in time, and some haven't been there for the last 30 years. Everyone gets some of this strong energy at some point in time this year. And even though we've got some challenges this month, because we have some strong energy too, we've got the support to get through. And that's really good information because last year we didn't always have the support to make it through the challenges, which just makes the challenges longer, harder, stresses you out a lot more. And sometimes we lose hope when that happens. So as we start the month, we have this intense energy that really started the last week in February. And it has to do with Mars and has to do with K2, the south node of the moon. I'm always going to break it down into simple language so you can understand what I'm saying. And it's okay if you don't know the transits. I won't geek out on you too much. But because these two have come together, they're very hot, very incendiary. And it has caused a lot of volatility, extreme conditions, and things and frustrating energy and things to come up really quickly. Now, we're seeing that in the ups and the downs in the stock market. We've got this coronavirus that we're all dealing with. There has been stressful situations. There has been a roller coaster kind of energy, and things have been kind of extreme in some ways. What I want you to do is not give into the fear that this tends to create. Fear, false evidence appearing real. It's one thing when you've got a challenge and it's in your face, right? Then you know what to do, or you can seek the help in the moment to know what to do. But what you don't need to do is spin out about it on what's going to happen or what could happen, and lead yourself down the trail of stress and anxiety, because that puts you in a compromised situation, and it doesn't access your brilliance and your gifts and doesn't allow you to make a really good choice in the moment if you need to make it. The main thing is for you to stay on purpose, for you to stay calm, cool, and collected, and to stay away from potential conflicts, whether that's a conversation with somebody, because things can escalate really quickly. If you're around people who are stressed out or, anger, whatever, take a step back from that volatility, that things that can explode, just like, fire can, on a hot day with a little spark can ignite. So that's the kinds of things that I want you to watch out for, to really stay away from creating any conflicts. And if you start to see them, I want you to take a step back instead of a step into the fire. This will not last forever. Here's the beautiful thing about Vedic astrology, and I'm talking about Vedic astrology, the sidereal zodiac, based on where the planets are in the heavens right now. So you can tell what the celestial weather is. That way, you know what the climate is, what you need to how you need to be prepared for the situation. So I start out with this volatile energy because it's what's up, not to scare you in any way. You're feeling it already. I'm just making sense out of what you are sensing and what you are feeling. You want to keep your head on straight and make sure you work with your mindset during this period of time. This energy is going to continue to be pretty volatile and sort of extreme because Mars is a planet of shock and awe. It likes to get that big reaction until we get to the 17th and then the 20th of the month. There's another hot spot then. And then after at the 22nd, it's all going to start to dissipate. What's important about that for you is we're talking about a period of time. We've got, 2.5 weeks or so, 3 weeks at the most. We're talking about a period of time. So you know when it's going to end. Therefore, you don't need to make choices like it's going to go on forever. Keep your cool. That's the main thing. But we also have some strength along with all of this. Now, Venus, which was exalted, that's our planet of relationship, our planet of love, our planet of connection in the sacred wealth code system. That's the connector. That is the artist, and that is the muse. It was in a very strong position in February. it has moved into Aries in Vedic astrology, and what you need to know about that is that it's a little hot here, a little speeded up, a little maybe passionate, a little bit maybe too quick to jump. So it's not terrible by any means, but it's very different when we have like you know, when you have a beautiful sunny day and it's just perfect and the wind's blowing just right and you can do anything you want as far as the weather goes, and then all of a sudden it's raining the next day and 20 degrees colder. I live in Washington State. It can certainly be like that. So what you want to remember is that it's not that it's so bad, it's just that it's not as amazing as it was. Although Venus is going to be incredibly amazing from the 28th of March all the way till the 30th of July. I'm going to talk about that a little bit more next month. In fact, I'll cut a separate update about that because it's an amazing energy that doesn't happen very often, where Venus is going to go into Taurus. It is going to be grounded. It's going to be good for connectivity and sharing food and on ideas and connecting in with one another, and incredibly stable for what that represents for you. And I'll break that down by sign as well in that update. But right now, I just want you to make sure that you're not too quick to jump when it comes to love and relationship, that you're also not too quick to sometimes get pissy about it as well if your needs aren't getting met. So just take this inspiration of Venus and the connectivity that might be happening for you this month. And just, we have a lot of hot, fiery energy, and just take a deep breath and just slow it down a little bit. Everything will be just fine. Another wonderful thing we have happen is, okay, Mercury's been retrograde, right? So it is going to go direct. Now, this has been a rather mild retrograde. Yes, we've had the annoyances of travel and of communication and, scheduling and things getting wonky in business, getting wonky, that Mercury rules. But it's not been playing with any of the bad planets, so it hasn't been really horrible. It never really is horrible. It just is what it is. And if you know what the energy is good for, then you can make the best use of it. So sometimes when we have a challenging energy, we want to slow down, maybe lay low, take things a little bit more quietly, like I was suggesting with the Mars energy. And then sometimes we have the energy when it's amazing, like when we have Venus coming into Taurus next month, and we're going to want to run with that. So with Mercury going direct, we've been reflecting in some ways. Now, this hits you personally in your chart in a specific way on something you're reevaluating this year. And when it goes, you're gathering some information maybe you didn't know about. And it's going to be, either in the realm of sort of purpose or spirituality or money and wealth for you, or relationships. These are the areas of life in some way you have been looking over. So notice which one is most relevant for you. Now, with that, maybe you've had some complications which have caused you to look even a little bit closer so that you could discern what you really want, what you don't want. This is good information to have, because then you can make new choices as we go forward with the Mercury going direct on the 9th of March, 9th, 10th, depending on where you live. So here's the only caveat. I don't want you to make any important decisions on the 8th, the 9th, the 10th of March. When Mercury's shifting directions, it is wonkier than usual because it's making a shift. So because the energy is making the shifts, it's not stable for what it's normally stable for. So just avoid those days on making important decisions. Just defer to before or till after, and you will be absolutely fine. So as of the 11th, go ahead and put yourself out there with what, the choices that you're ready to make. Mercury will be behind you. Your mind will be in a good place for making those changes and making those choices and starting to move things forward again. And that'll feel good to have that forward momentum. So another one of the positive aspects we have. The sun has been in a positive place. It's been in Aquarius, been really looking at social ideals for the world, everything we want, what we believe should be happening in the world. And you are part of the transformation that is happening in the world right now. Don't be afraid of the chaos that's happening. There is a lot of breakdown happening, just like in the autumn time, things break down, the leaves do, and it gets messy for a while, but eventually in spring, something new grows out of what has decomposed. And we are in a pivotal time right now and you chose to be born during this time, you have important work to do, and that's holding your energy, holding your alignment, making sure that you're contributing not to the fear, but to the solution and your own transformations on every single choice that you make, that you are actually in alignment with a higher level of frequency. Your choices matter. And then what you do with those choices matter hugely. So make sure that you are taking really good care of yourself and feeding yourself in a way that you can contribute to the shift that's happening right now. I know it's hard sometimes, but don't let it get you down. We've got some great energy coming in to really start to put in the focus and the hard work that we need to. So the sun will be moving into Pisces on the 14th. This is going to bring in that that spiritual energy, that transformative energy where the veil is very thin, where we need to take a closer look and remember, who we are on a deep spiritual level before we bring the energy into the new birth that Aries will bring in April. So this is with the sun and the soul in Pisces in Vedic astrology. This is, a place for creativity. Some of our great thinkers had planets here, whether it was Albert Einstein, and this is not being like Albert Einstein, couldn't match his socks, but could really think outside the box. That's because opened up to the divine mind. So I encourage you from mid-March to mid-April to make some extra time for that opening up to the divine mind, opening up to thinking outside the box, or receiving more so ideas from outside the box. Not everything is happening in front of our eyes. You know that because you're a spiritual being, but we don't always remember that with so much programming coming at us. So you've got to keep yourself tuned and aligned to the frequency you want to. So that means your spiritual practice. That means you're getting out in nature. That means you saying no to what's not really in alignment with you, and for you to saying more yes to your self-care, to putting the quality of your energy first. So on the 22nd, we're going to have that contentious energy, that volatile energy is going to shift. We're going to have Mars, we're going to have Jupiter coming together. We're going to have Mars moving into Capricorn. Now, you can check out my video about Capricorn and Saturn in Capricorn for almost the next 3 years. And in that, I also talk about this amazing time that we have where we have Mars. Remember, I was talking about Mars being volatile, but Mars is exalted in Capricorn. Mars is at its absolute best in Capricorn, and Mars is hardworking, focused, disciplined, and really, needs that focus and a purpose, and can be very, very diligent as well. Coming into Capricorn, where Saturn is all about the details, sticking with things to the end, longevity. This is super important. And in that video, with the link is down below, on Saturn and Capricorn, I really go into this deeply on it's important for you to know what you're committed to, because not only will have this energy for the next 3 years, but with Mars here, we are going to have this intense focus during this time. So that's going to happen from the 22nd of March all the way till May 4th. So we've got like 6 weeks of this intense, hard-working, focused energy. Now, the good thing about that is that you have something you probably want to move forward. And if you're really clear about what you're committed to and what you want to move forward and your purpose, you're gonna feel inspired. You're gonna work hard, but it's gonna feel good because you're working for you. And if you're not, you're going to be required to do some kind of hard work. And if it's for something or someone else that you aren't in alignment with, you're going to get burnt out. So make sure you're in alignment with your purpose. Make sure that you're in alignment with understanding what you are committed to. Super important. We're going to have Jupiter move into this placement too, which helps with some of the inspiration. Jupiter's not super strong here, but this planetary combination is all in all very good, because the strength of Saturn and Mars kind of makes up for where Jupiter isn't quite as strong and isn't quite as strong for its inspiration and its focus. So maybe new trends that start during this time may not kind of get a foothold, and that will be with Jupiter in this placement, but that will come full circle a little later on in the year when Jupiter comes back into Sagittarius. I'll talk about that more later. But what I want you to know is that the energy of Capricorn is really about less is more. So it's about trimming the fat. It's about getting, and that's because focusing in is so important, about avoiding overdoing, overspending, excess where you don't need it. It's a time to really give back, be very purposeful, give back to family, to society. Saturn, and this is Capricorn and Saturn sign, doesn't give you anything for free. It makes you work for it. It makes you put in the sweat equity. It makes you put in the time, the energy, but more so the focus. And in return, if you're on your purposeful path, will pay you 100-fold in interest. So, if you make efforts, you will get the reward. But you've got to put the effort in, especially where, this is your domain, your purpose, your mission, the thing that you're really moving forward, whether that's a book, whether that's you're starting a new business, whether that's and taking your physical health to another level, whether that's a contribution you want to make, whether that's, standing more in your gifts as an artist, opposed to being in the business world that doesn't really work for you. Whatever's in alignment with you, it will support you. You just have to be willing to go the distance. Now, make sure you take everything in stride, okay? Keep calm. Be very humble during this time, this month, and next. Very realistic, because again, that's the energy of Capricorn, which also rules governments, by the way. Very practical, and keep your feet on the ground. Be very reasonable. Stay grounded. How do you stay grounded? Jupiter will help us with this. By staying in your spiritual teachings, whatever that is for you. For me, I've got to be deep in meditation every day. I've got to be doing yoga, walking in nature. So I'm taking care of my physical body, because I'm a physical person, managing my mindset and meditation and my spiritual practices, and learning more how to really continue to align my frequency to the highest place possible for me, not getting in fear. These are, bring your teachings forward to support you during this time, and make them very grounded and very practical. That means maybe just picking one of the teachings, the spiritual teachings that are good for you, and really putting it into practice, because you'll have the support to be focused and have that due diligence there and have the follow through. So whether that's starting a meditation practice, or finally getting your butt off the couch and taking care of that amazing body of yours, or doing some clearing and getting rid of some of these programs in your head, it'll support you in doing that. Do that, because you'll be able to focus in on what you're being called to. So if you like this video, click the like button, share with friends and family, and make sure you hit that subscribe button and hit the bell notification. I put videos out at least twice a week to keep you updated on the current energy, and you can check out these videos to learn more about what's going on in the current celestial energy.